Did you know you can sponsor your favorite podcast on the Spin Market Podcast Network? Hi, everybody. My name is Peter Stockdale, host of the Spin Market Report. In 2025, our podcast had over 26,000 streams, and our YouTube channels had over 1.4 million views. Whether you're promoting a product, service, or event, we'll help you reach the audience that matters. Get more information on how to sponsor a podcast at spinmarket.com. Spin Market, your business, your message, our platform.
It's the Spin Market Report. Here's your host, Peter Stockdale.
Oh, baby, we are back. It's the Spin Market Report, Marketing Monday.
Marketing Monday. Very important day.
Yes, these episodes come out every Monday. If you have listened to some of the last episodes, we're on a streak of Iowa Central people.
Yeah, it's been very interesting, hasn't it? Just a very eclectic group of Iowa Central people as well.
It feels like one from every department, yes. Just about. So if there's anybody out there that's in a different department, wants to hit us up, tell us about what's going on at Iowa Central.
Well, it is, and every one of them has brought a great story on here. So a lot of diversity, a lot of great things to talk about at Iowa Central.
Yeah, it's fun. It seems like you either have to be a hometown hero or have like a crazy cool backstory to get to be there. And we've got one that's a whole lot different today. It's Simon Stewart. You're the Iowa Central track and field coach. You also do some of the strength and conditioning down there, et cetera, et cetera. But how about you introduce yourself? Just kind of broad stroke it, your role with Iowa Central and just the basics.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll introduce myself. My name is Simon Stewart. And I am a new coach to Iowa Central. I started in July of this last year. And so my backstory is I came from Denmark.
Oh.
And I lived there the last 21 years. I was a college thrower, so that's my connection to track and field. While I was in Denmark, I was a Olympic coach. A lot of it was strength and conditioning. And I worked with Danish sailing. That was a 13-year job. Coached for 4 Olympics with them.
The Danish are very well known for their boatsmanship, I guess you would say. Yeah, throughout the years.
The Vikings, it's probably one of the biggest sports in Denmark.
Oh, really?
It's all surrounded by water.
That's cool.
Got Jutland, and there's water all around. Then you have 2 islands, Sjælland and Fyn. Mm-hmm. And 250 sailing clubs around the country. And
That's so cool.
Yep. I worked on developing young sailors, and then I also spent a lot of my time working with the elite sailors.
Okay.
So I was strength and conditioning coach for the elite Danish sailing team.
That's super cool. So how do you get started in track and field then? Like, what's the jump from sailing to track and field? Did you just decide, I don't want to row a boat anymore, I want to run? Or like, how did that go?
Okay. So the connection, I was a thrower. I threw at University of Idaho.
Oh, cool.
And because I was track and field, it gave me a lot of knowledge about how to physically prepare your body.
Okay.
So track and field athletes, they do good going on into strength and conditioning. They know about how to get fast, how to get strong, endurance training. Mm-hmm. And also I have a bachelor's degree in physical education. So that helped. And then while I was in Denmark, I did a master's degree in sports science.
Oh, wow.
So that helped me as well.
Love this story.
So I went from track and field, coached different sports, into sailing, and now I'm back to track and field, which is my favorite sport. I was a thrower, have a lot of passion for throwing, love throwing heavy stuff, and now I'm back.
Okay, so if anybody needs a mover, no, I'm just kidding. I do want to say, though, strength and conditioning, it wasn't until I was like maybe a junior or senior in high school, I really kind of started pigeonholing in on things. And it's not just about like getting big muscles. Like you said, sometimes it's about endurance. Sometimes it's about like your burst reaction, like how fast can you explode with your strength. There's a lot more to it than just I'm doing curls and I've got big muscles. It's something I guess when I was in high school, I was just like, I just want to be big like all the big guys, but that's not what it's always all about.
No, but that's what brought a lot of people into lifting weights. It's, the beautiful body.
Yeah.
You want to look good naked.
Yeah.
You want to be impressive.
That Arnie biceps, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So what brought you all the way to Iowa Central? You had mentioned you were in Idaho for a while.
Yep. So I grew up in Minnesota. I got recruited. I went to University of Idaho, which is Division I program. because my parents moved out there. So that was why I went west, and had a really successful career. I was a 4-time All-American. My highlight was finishing 3rd place at the NCAA championship back in 2002.
2002, awesome.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. I mean, that was like right when I was in high school and stuff like that. And I thought I was going to be a great thrower and stuff. We're going to get into it a little bit later, but like big jump from high school to college. Definitely not the same thing. If you're good in high school, you're not always going to be great in college. You might need somebody to help train you a little bit better than what you were doing in high school. But so you're now out at Iowa Central. How would you describe the culture out there when you got there? What was it like? Was it kind of shocking? I mean, you're from Minnesota, so you kind of have seen rural America.
I have. So the first thing, being on interview, I was really impressed. It's good people here. Mm-hmm. It's good people. And I'm from the Midwest, so I feel I fit in right away.
Nice.
Even though 20 years in Denmark, it changes you. You have different values, different culture, different working culture. But I feel I fit in because it was good people, open, honest, good people. I feel we connected on our values. Mm-hmm. The thing about Denmark is, and the values there, they're so deeply ingrained in Danish society, you don't really talk about values that much.
Oh.
Because
everybody just kind of has them.
It's a homogenous culture, so they share a lot the same values. Here they're spoken, but also I'm guessing it's ingrained in the culture. And Iowa Central has a good culture, hard work, passion, quality, teamwork, integrity.
Mm-hmm. When you got out to the track program there, what did you realize first that made like the track program at Iowa Central stand out, possibly from other track programs at community colleges or elsewhere?
So what I came to find out about Iowa Central is that it's the GOAT, the greatest of all time for junior college track and field, cross country, and half marathon, men and women, which was amazing. It's for example, so I was at the highest level in sports. And I enjoyed it, but there were some things I didn't enjoy. Professional sports is somewhat cutthroat. It's kind of brutal. Yep. You maybe have to coach in a way that it's not so fun. Mm-hmm. Make cuts, there's money involved. And I liked, my favorite time as an athlete was in college, mm-hmm. because the team aspect, and also you competed very often. And also it was a time in my life that it shaped me as a person for later on in my life. Absolutely. So that's why I chose to go back to college. Mm-hmm. So my wife, she asked me, we were laying in bed one night, and she said, if money wasn't anything, money wasn't the object, what would you want to do? And I said, well, it was 2 things. I'd either own my own gym, because then it'd be like going to my family every day, you mm-hmm. get to know your members and so on, or it was to be a college track and field throwing coach.
Oh, cool.
Because you don't do that for the money. Yeah. You do it because you love it. Mm-hmm. And
you have a passion.
Yeah. And also you can shape young people's life.
Yes.
Because life is sports is a reflection of life, because it's a series of battles. It's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game, and that you learn every time. So if you don't win, sometimes your best, it's not good enough. Well, that's life. Well, then what do? Well, you make your best better. Mm-hmm. And that's where it's a reflection of life. And in Denmark, things are small. It's a small country. So the numbers of athletes I worked with wasn't huge. And I said, I learned so much being in Denmark, working with these elite athletes, but I want more. I want to share it with more people. And in college, it's like a factory. They come in, and at junior college, it's every 2 years. Mm-hmm. So then 2 years, or every year, you're getting in almost 50% new athletes. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I can really help a lot more young people. And that was kind of the big attraction. It's scaled up, mm-hmm. and you need operating systems, and you have to be that much better.
Yeah, absolutely. So how about a typical training week at Iowa Central? Like, what does that look like? And maybe let's compare this a little bit to, you had mentioned you had trained literal Olympic athletes through multiple Olympics. Is it a whole lot different than that? I guess in the bare bones of it all, I'm sure there's, if you dive deep, it's a lot different. But like, how does that compare? What does a typical week of training look like at Iowa Central?
Well, so a typical week, Now, here's the thing. They're dual sport or dual career athletes. So they have academics, and then they have their athletics. So dual career. They're 2 jobs, throw far, do good in school.
Yep.
And I'm very clear with that. And they know it, like, yep, that's what I'm here to do. The main difference, elite level, a lot of the fundamentals have already been taken care of. They come from a knowledge base or a upbringing where everything's high quality, things are in order, and they're doing most everything right away. So it's fairly easy. You give them a lot of freedom. It's maybe you coach from dependence to independence.
Okay.
And so I'm used to very independent athletes. You just give them a schedule, they show up, we do our work. In Iowa Central, this is junior college, so there's more teaching that goes into it about, how, one of the things I've dealt with is quality. And I work on high quality. It's one of my values. And what does that mean? Well, it depends where you come from. What's quality? So building quality is one of the things that it surprised me a little bit, because, and I also forget, I was working with athletes from 18 years old to 32. That was kind of the athletes. In sailing, they're a bit older. It takes a lot of experience. And so these athletes are right out of high school.
Yeah.
And that's different.
Yeah, not a lot of experience.
No, and they might have come from no coach or a marathon runner who was their throwing coach.
Oh.
And they don't have that same fundament. So I had to back it down from what I originally thought where we'd start. The starting point was a little lower.
Had to bring it down a couple steps.
Yeah, but it's not where you start, it's where you finish. So I feel that's where you can help even more.
Yeah. I mean, that tracks. I mean, I went to Humboldt, which is a smaller town, but we had kind of a small track team when I was there. And our throwing coach, and this is nothing against him, but he was like, he used to be the head football coach at the school, and he had quit being the head football coach in like the 70s. And so like that kind of tells you, like, I went to school in like the early 2000s. So he was kind of an elderly gentleman. So he couldn't really demonstrate by doing. He had to like kind of tell somebody what to do and then find the person with the best form. And then, so it was kind of like what you're saying. Like, we didn't have the best form, maybe. It was a lot of just brute strength farm boy type stuff. But this kind of brings me to the next thing. What separates a good athlete from a great athlete at the college level? I thought for sure I was going to go into college sports. And then when I actually went to colleges and looked around at the other athletes there, I said, maybe not. Like, these people are definitely good athletes. But what separates those good athletes from the great athletes at the college level?
Yeah, good question. Really, the main thing is track and field is a funny sport in that you don't choose track and field chooses you. You need a gift. You need that a little bit. You have to be blessed to be explosive. You're huge or gigantic. So elite throwers, that's the 2 sizes.
Yep. Huge or gigantic.
Yeah,
I love that.
Or, I had 3 and 4 of those. So you're big. You're also extremely fast. You have a high distribution of explosive muscle fibers. And then you're also a smart and fast learner. To pick up technique, the athlete who learns the fastest wins the most. Ooh. So if you're a fast learner and you're developing, you're going to be passing athletes who are slow learners.
I like that. That's good. I mean, that could be adaptable to just about anywhere in life, honestly.
Yeah, you got to be a fast learner. And what's really fun about college coaching is the cream rises to the top. So the best athletes in high school go on to college, and those best in college go on to professional and so on. And it's the same in just about everything. Yeah. I noticed that in my academic career. From my bachelor's degree, I did pretty good having the dual career sports and athletes, but I still did pretty good. And then I went into my master's degree, and I found out it's a lot tougher. And I'm competing against
the big league.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I finished my master's degree, and I thought about a PhD, and I said, you know what? This is so much like sports. I just don't know if I have the talent or even the drive.
Yeah.
Because it just gets so much more competitive as you go up in level. And so we'll go back to college sports. It levels up. There's levels to it. And if you were successful in high school, you'll probably start in the middle in college.
Ooh.
And you have to rise up in the college ranks. And then if you're the very best, you'll have opportunity to be professional, maybe earn some money doing what you do best.
I think that might be exactly why I was so intimidated to go into college, because it's like I was pretty good where I was at in a small town, and then you go to a college and you're like, I'm going to need to work really hard again just to get back to somewhere in the top-ish area. Maybe I was just intimidated by the work that I knew I was going to have to do, because it's a lot of work. So we talked about maybe physically how we develop these students. What about mentally? You had mentioned the ones that adapt faster are gonna do better, but consistency, things like that. Like, what are some of the mental things that you either have to teach these athletes, or what are some of the mental capacities that people have that help them do the best?
I would say definitely resiliency.
Ooh, I like that.
Because I watched something, it was about a professional tennis player. And he said, he failed many times, and, he talked percentages of shots he missed and stuff, but it was his ability to get back on track. Mm-hmm. And, with my young athletes, I really wish I could, I wish and I don't wish, I wish I could do it for them. Like, it's so easy for me. I wish I could do it for you, but you have to take your lumps. You have to get beat up. You have to lose. You have to fail. And I'm with you on the way, and that's part of the journey. So it's the resiliency, not quitting when it gets tough, because it gets tough.
Yeah.
And you fail, and you embarrass yourself, and your pride is hurt. You're humbled, and you go through that with them. And I really enjoy it, because I'm on the outside, And here's the thing: when they fail, I fail. Mm-hmm. It means I didn't prepare them well enough. So it's motivation to me to become better as a coach. My coaching goal is always to get athletes good as fast as possible with the best long-term outcome. I don't want to be destroying athletes. Give them a good experience. So it's a partnership. Mm-hmm. So I'm there with them, but they still have to really want this. Mm-hmm. So I would say the mental thing in college is resiliency, also quality. Like understanding, the elite athletes I worked with, it's two things which really separates them from the non-elite. The ones that, they're just there. You can see it with a group. I understand some will quit, some will just stick with it, and some will really rise to the top. The ones that rise to the top, it's two things. It's the quality. It's not doing a push-up. No, that's not good enough. I have to do a perfect push-up. I really, I want to be the best. Mm-hmm. So it's high quality. And the other thing is effort. Because effort is, sometimes you want to give a really high effort, sometimes you want to give a medium effort, and sometimes a low effort. And understanding when to give the amount of effort. Because when we're in a volume period, which we just switched over to, don't get excited. I just want you going through this. Keep your arousal low, and let's just get through this, because it's just a bunch of stuff. And then when we're in a high intensity period where it's high quality, we get psyched up, we fire up. They need to understand that it's not too much and it's not too little. Mm-hmm. So it's high quality or quality and effort. And that separates the ones. So there's some athletes that I'm always push more weight on the bar, and I'll be the plate fairy, and I'll slide one on. Maybe they notice, maybe they don't.
I like that. The plate
and then there's
fairy.
other ones I'm slipping plates off. Like, you can't handle that. That's too much. You're not ready.
Yep.
So they're on that neurological. They think just with sheer willpower they're going to do things. No, not yet. Not yet.
Trust the process.
Yep. Too much effort, not enough base, or they haven't earned that yet.
Yeah, I can definitely go through that. Like, there were times I had mentioned when I was, in high school trying to do weight training, before I actually read up on it and stuff. It's just like, let's throw the most weight on there and just see if I can lift it a few times. Like, that doesn't really always do you a whole lot of good, especially if that's where you're starting. It's like, let's start with a good base. Let's see what you can do 10 times, or see what you can do 15 times, or multiple sets of something, instead of just, let's just lift heavy things a couple times and say we did it. That doesn't always help out the best. All right, so student athletes at Iowa Central, it's a big deal being a student and an athlete. Like you said, it's basically having two jobs at the same time. And some of these people are teenagers. How do you help them balance those two things? Like, what kind of resources are available for the student athletes there to ensure that they're doing both their athletic duties as well as their academic duties? Well,
that's one thing that I'm finding out as a college coach, is that need to get into their academic stuff. So I do grade checks.
Oh, cool.
And I'll send them a gentle reminder, sometimes not so gentle, that, hey, this is not good enough. You got 2 jobs. Throw far, do good in school. And they're both equally important. There's not one, because part of my goal is to set them up for a better life. That's one of the values at Iowa Central is to give the students a better life through education and getting out the other end with a degree. So they're pushed by me on both sides. I wish I knew more about the classes. I wasn't a student at Iowa Central.
Yeah.
So there's that learning curve about, well, is this a tough class? Is it an easy class? Well, the pacing of the year, if you start with a C or a D, is there enough time to bring it up? Or if they're at an A, and we get into the season and they're focused on throwing, are they going to slip down into ineligible status? So it's a balance, and I'm learning that. And also it's part of recruiting, like selling the college, because it really is a college first, and we have sports. So I'm getting into that academics and learning about the programs, and there's over 100, so there's a lot to learn.
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, even though you didn't go to Iowa Central, I went there 3 different times. So if you need a little advice, hit me up. I might be able to coach you through some of that. So how about recruiting some of these students? You kind of touched on it. I remember when I went there, there were students from all over the world. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, they're from all over the world. Literally from the opposite end of the globe all the way to Iowa Central. What does the recruiting process look like? Are you involved in that at all? Or, as a coach, I guess I just don't know. But what does that recruiting process look like?
Well, now that I'm also new to recruiting, and I'm trying to find my way. I know what I want. I want super talented athletes, highly motivated, huge, explosive. But we have 20 scholarships, and mostly if you're an international student, you're brought in on some kind of a scholarship. Well, to win a championship, we compete on points. So, first place is 10 points, second 8, third is 6, then it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, as a director, I'm an assistant coach, which is a funny thing. So an assistant coach in track and field, you're responsible for your area, and I'm responsible for throwers. So I'm like a mini head coach for my area. I manage their training, I plan things, I do recruiting for my area, of course, under the guidance of our director. But the director, he's responsible to spread scholarships across. And, so an athlete, if they're a sprinter, they might run the 100, the 200, the 4x1 relay, maybe even do a field event like long jump. Well, they could score 40 points.
Yeah.
And as a thrower, you'd have to throw shot put, discus, and hammer to score 30 points. Then you have to add the javelin in to score 40 points. So
javelin too. Wow. Okay.
Well, in indoor, we have the 35-pound weight. So you might have, well, here's an example. I get javelin throwers which contact me all the time. Oh, I throw the javelin, and they're really good. Well, guess what? Javelin can score 10 points. It's only outdoors, and you can score 10 points. Well, you're competing for a scholarship with maybe a 30 or 40-point regional or national track athlete. So what I'm really looking for is an athlete who can throw some shot put. They're pretty good. Throw some discus. They're pretty good. Maybe pick up the hammer. It's not a really American high school thing, but they can learn it. Then you add a lot of value. You're a valuable team athlete. And a lot of the athletes, they come in and think, I'm a shot putter. Yes, you are. But you don't add a lot of value just being a shot putter. So in college, you want to throw multiple events because it's a team. It's a team of individuals. And if you find out that you're here and you really excel in the shot put, well, as you become a professional, possibly, that's when you can focus on just being a shot putter, because then you're paying your own way and your own trips. And now I only have to throw the shot put.
Yeah.
But it starts in college with being a good all-around thrower.
Nice.
And sometimes they don't understand that.
Yeah. I liked throwing shot put. I was not the best at discus. I would absolutely love to throw a hammer sometime. Probably blow a knee out or something at this age, but it would be fun to try. I always liked watching them do that. And then you said javelin, and I don't know. Those are the fun throwing events that, like you said, in high school, we just didn't have those. And I guess it would be kind of fun to try those. But I don't want to take up too much of your time asking you to teach me how to hammer throw, and it's not going to benefit you. So how about some of the most memorable moments as a coach? What are some of your favorite moments as a coach, either at Iowa Central, or we can extrapolate it and talk about some of your time, coaching Olympic athletes as well. There's got to be some things that were just very big moments for you, or very touching moments internally.
I just had one. Just had one. So we just finished the indoor season, and we won regionals for men and women. So we're in Region 11, it's Iowa junior colleges, and Region 11 is probably the best region in the country.
Okay.
We have the top teams here, or not all, but quite a few top teams that we battled with. And we just also finished the national championship, where the men finished third and the women seventh. Which is a big deal. We haven't finished that high in quite a few years, 3 or 4 years. But sports have swings. It's like a wave in the ocean. You kind of come up, and then you get a little complacent maybe, and you slide down, or that's sports.
Yeah.
Every 4 years there's cycles. But anyway, so I have a young man, Hayden Stockdale, and
that's my last name. I don't know if we're related, but hey, what's up?
Could be. And Hayden, he was ranked number 1 in the men's weight throw, the men's 35-pound weight throw, all season, and favorite to win. We're in the championship, and his first throw, it's a safe. Maybe he fouled the first throw, got a safe throw on the second, which was first, and then he got passed by another athlete. So he's sitting in second, and I think what happened is the pressure got to him, and his technique it wasn't there. I wouldn't say he fell apart, but he was pulling. The weight was behind him, and the weight throw, it's a push throw. You sweep it across, and you turn, and you sweep it across. And each round, he's not improving. Then it's one out of sector. Then it's one, he missed it. He kind of fell away. So we're down to the 6th round. Mm-hmm. Ranked number 1. We were kind of counting on his points as a sure thing. And he's second to last thrower. And, all this pressure and so on. And he makes a clutch throw. Throws a personal best.
Oh, cool.
Moves into first place. Wins the national championship.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
It was pretty amazing.
I bet.
I said, Hayden, why did I didn't, it was super exciting. I didn't need it that exciting. He could have just, put it away in the first round and then just had fun. He's going after the school record as well. He didn't get the school record, but he won the championship, and that was a great competition, and it was really memorable because the adversity he went through. Okay. He didn't make it easy. He made it tough, but he really proved what he had inside. Like that desire, and then that ability to focus when it really counted. Track and field in the throwing events, it's a focus event. Take all this power you have through your whole body, and then put it into the implement.
Yeah.
And on the shot put, the sweet spot, the center mass, it's about the size of a walnut. Mm-hmm. So you have to spin 1.5 times. If you're a spinner or a glider, and then from the bottom of your feet all the way up through your body, and then line it up on something the size of a walnut through your fingers, it's a heavy ball. And so it's really a focus event, and it just doesn't come by chance. You have to be really well trained, and he was well trained, so the training held up. He was well prepared, and it was pretty amazing. So that was a highlight, and a recent one too. I have a lot. I bet. With over 40 Olympians I've worked with in track and field, boxing.
Cool.
Yes, archery.
Wow.
And sailing. So my track and field experience at the Olympics was as a coach, and a track and field coach, and in the other sports it was as a strength and conditioning coach.
Cool.
So I worked with, and you just jogged my memory of another great one. So I was a Danish Paralympic national coach from 2010 to 2016. Okay. Which was a really cool job working with disabled athletes. Mm-hmm. I had an athlete, he was 2 times Paralympic gold medalist in the shot put. Cool. So his disability was he had an amputation below his knee on the left leg. Mm-hmm. and he had a torn bicep. I'll take a little blame for that.
Okay.
But it was on an Olympic year.
Oh, wow.
It happened in November. So I'd have his bicep reattached. And from November, the Paralympics was in August. This was in, I got my years mixed up. It was, the Paralympics was in 2012. And I had the job in 2011. I started. Torn bicep. And he came back, won the Paralympic gold.
Wow.
So we were on the razor's edge of re-tearing it. And you never know. It's like a hook in drywall. You don't know when they reattach it how much you can stress it until it pulls out.
Yeah.
Oopsie-daisy.
Yep.
And but that's the elite sports. Is you push. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you don't win.
Mm-hmm. Makes me think of that skier.
I was going to say
Yep.
Lindsey Vonn.
Yep.
With the Winter Olympics that went on, and of course she had a horrible fall and the surgery she's been through, but that isn't the first time that's been her. I mean, I don't even know how many surgeries she's had and how many breaks.
Yeah, I mean that's just something with those athletes at that level are so special that they are willing to put something like that on the line. Where it's like, even if my knee is messed up, I'm gonna do the best I can because I'm here and this is what I'm here to do. And it's wild to just watch those people push their bodies to the absolute limit. It's so cool. I have a fun one, and maybe your opinion on this might differ than some other people. What do you think's the hardest track and field event? I mean, if I was in your shoes, for some reason, I'd just say long distance running. It's not my thing. I was a thrower. I liked throwing. Maybe I'll run a short distance. But what do you think? What do you think the hardest one is? I mean, this maybe you think it is throwing.
I would have to lean towards distance.
Yeah.
They're a little crazy.
Yeah.
They have to be.
They have to be.
So the funny thing is, throwers and distance runners, they usually get along really well.
Okay.
Because we're both a little special, a little crazy. If you want to know, the pole vault as a field event is the biomechanically most difficult event.
Okay.
Because of all the position shifts, and you're upside down for a little while and you push off, and it's very, very technical.
Yeah, you got to trust that pole.
Yeah. The second one is the discus throw.
Okay.
Biomechanically, because you have the movements, and then you also have the flight of the implement. So we're talking circles, and then we have a discus, which is an airfoil, which you have to fly just perfectly. You have to get the angle, the outside edge down. It has to spin fast. And then in different wind conditions, you got to throw different. You have to aim in different parts of the field.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's very biomechanically challenging. But toughness-wise, well, of course, I would lean towards the decathlon and heptathlon.
Yep.
That's 2 days, 5 events per day, or I think it's 3 and 4 and 3
Wow.
for women. But that's grueling. And then they finish with a one. Boy, I wish I knew more about that event. But they finish with a distance event.
Okay. That's not the one that's the steeplechase, is it, where they got to jump over the hurdle into the water or whatever?
No, that's a different one.
Okay.
That's a tough one too.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
I was at the World Championship in Osaka, and sitting in the stands. This is in a long time ago, 2008.
Okay.
And it's in Japan, and I'm watching the steeplechase, and they have the water barriers, and then they have these other. It's not a hurdle because it doesn't break away. It doesn't fall over.
It's a wall.
It's steel. Yep. And one of the athletes tripped right before the barrier, smashed their face into the barrier, and just peeled down. Oof. And they didn't make it up. And I was like, whoa, that was brutal. That was brutal. Good thing it was a world championship, because just at a normal meet, that wouldn't be worth it.
Wow. And that makes you think they trained this hard to do this stuff, and literally a fall into a fence was derailed the whole thing.
Yep.
Wow. that would be rough.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's almost harrowing. I almost need to take a breather from thinking about that one. That would be so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
All right. So how about, I had this down as, what's the best advice you've ever given an athlete? Or possibly maybe what's the best advice an athlete's given you, or you as an athlete, what was the best advice you ever gotten?
Good question. I would say get good coaching.
Okay.
good coaching is the escalator to success. So, I mean, you may want the world's best coach and think they know everything. No coach knows everything. I at one time thought, oh, I just need to find the right coach, and I have all this success and everything. And well, there isn't one, because I had one of the world's best coaches at the time, and he didn't know everything. And it just kind of, it shocked me, like, wow, this is really my thing. Okay. And my coach is there to help, and my teammates and all the support staff and everything. Nobody knows everything, but get a good coach. And it takes about a year for a coach and athlete relationship to really develop and blossom. So I know them, they know me. We've made our mistakes, and now we're on the right track. But good coaching is the way to go, because in sports, you don't have to know everything you need to know to achieve your goal. You just need to know you have a goal, and what I do know, I need to start applying right away. And good coaches will help you avoid roadblocks and making every mistake in the book. You don't need to. There's coaches who've done this thousands of times, so they'll guide you on the right track. Get good coaching. I'm really happy to have the experience I have and be able to help the athletes get good as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I'd also say goal setting, so important.
Yes.
Have a goal, use it as your North Star, because you'll have a lot of stumbling blocks. You'll fail many times, but as long as you have that goal and you're working as best you can towards it, then you're on the right track. The worst thing is someone asks, they want a program. Okay, I can write you a program. Let's talk. Okay, what do you want? Well, I don't know. I can't write a program for I don't know, or general. The more specific you are in your goal, the easier it is to plan things and structure things. So it all starts with the goal. And when I write a program, I write the goal of this program. And when I have a clear goal and maybe multiple things, primary, secondary, third, it writes itself.
Nice. I like that. I used to think that like having goals was cheesy, but then you realize after a few years, like if you don't have a goal, you're not even really doing anything. You're not working towards anything. You're not bettering yourself. And even if you are, you don't really have a reason why you're doing it. So you need those goals, not just in sports, but also in life, as far as I'm concerned. Lesson learned the hard way for me, but I learned a lot of my lessons the hard way. So
actually, those are the ones that you learn from most.
They stick with you.
They stick with you, and you learn from them.
Absolutely.
So while it can be a miserable situation, in the long run, it's usually in the best for whoever.
Yeah, I'm sure it behooves those student athletes to learn faster than slower, though. You don't want to learn all your lessons the hard way. That's why there's a coach there. They've seen all this stuff before. And even if the coach themselves hasn't faltered in this fashion, they've seen other people who have, the people that they've coached in the past. So you just got to trust the process and trust the process.
You do. And here's the thing. I have coaches.
Okay.
So our head coach, I wouldn't say she's necessarily my coach, but she's my advisor, mentor. I don't know a lot of stuff. And, the more you know what you don't know. I know I'm good at a few things. I'm pretty good at a few things, but there's a lot I don't know because I'm new to college coaching. And when I don't know, I go to my coach.
I like that.
And above my coach is the director, and you just go up the chain.
Yeah. I like that. Even coaches have coaches.
Well, that shows how much I place in coaching, because I have a coach, multiple coaches.
Yeah. That's not a whole lot different than like people with mentors in business and things like that. I like that a lot. All right. So we're getting close to the end of this. We obviously work at a marketing firm, so I like to toss a marketing question in here. This could relate to either your time as a coach or just out in everyday life, maybe your world travels. This could be a fun one to apply here, but has there been a time in your life where marketing impacted you and you possibly didn't realize it until afterwards?
100%.
All right. Let's hear this. This will be a good one.
In trying to get from Denmark and realize I love Denmark, I could have stayed there forever. I got 40 Olympians. I could have been in the hundreds. It was a good place. But one thing I neglected was to sell myself. I never wanted to be famous. I want to do what I do because I want to do it. This is my thing. So when you haven't marketed yourself or built a brand or made a name for yourself and put it out there, in my small circle, I was very, very successful and well known and respected. but not in the United States. And I really regretted not taking the time to put myself out there a lot more, build a little bit of a brand, network. And I guess networking would be like marketing, building that powerful network. And so it took me a year and a half to get from Denmark to United States. And I had a lot of dead ends and, well, who are you? And I had to, here's my resume, and start from scratch. So I really wish I would have marketed myself. And then things I've done in my life. I've had, done my coaching career, and I've also had a good sports career myself. And I think I thought it would go on forever. Oh. And so I never really put it out there for people to see, because it was my thing. I do it because I want to do it. But that doesn't help you when you're trying to get a job in a foreign country when you haven't put yourself out there. Mm-hmm. So I realized that you may be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but if nobody knows it, you'll stay where you're at.
Well, and that's one thing that we say to our clients as well, is you need to tell your story. And sometimes we're just too humble, or we don't realize the impact that telling that story has.
Yeah. I mean, if McDonald's never, ever, ever once had a commercial that they sold Big Macs, you wouldn't know they had a Big Mac. It's because they tell you. I mean, that's obviously a very exacerbated answer and extreme situation. But if we never told anyone we built websites, no one would ever come in here to build a website. It's
and you have to show them what you did as well.
And sometimes you run into situations where maybe somebody doesn't know you, and then they think, oh, you've been coaching Olympic athletes for 15, 20 years or so. Oh, okay. I get it now. So telling them that is enough to kind of push you to the next level sometimes. And, it's important just telling the story, just letting people know what's out there. I like that a lot.
Yeah, exactly. When I started having to do that, I realized I'm very bad at this. And I'll ramble and get off into a rabbit hole about steel bending or grip strength. And you have to really, with a laser beam focus, encapsulate who you are, what you want to do, and that elevator pitch, that 1 minute.
That 30-second.
Yeah. It's got to be short and to the point.
And something that they're going to remember, because has to be one element in that stands out that they'll remember.
Yep. I do like that one thing I remember reading about. If you're going to pitch yourself to somebody, don't say I coach these people. Say I am a coach. So you let people know exactly what you are, instead of just saying something that you do. This is what I am. This is not just something that I do. And I always kind of like that. So this has been super great. I absolutely loved this. Another one of those eye-opening ones where you're all right, a track and field coach is coming in.
Had no idea that there was going to be such a story.
Yeah, it's such a great story too. And that's the best part about podcasting. I think everyone's got a fun story to tell. I don't think we've pulled in too many people that haven't had a fun story in some capacity. So this has been really good. Is there anything we missed on the docket here that you'd like to talk about before we take off?
My wife told me this morning. Tell them you met the Queen.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And that's something that, being from a small country and having a royal family and everything, and it was one of the highlights of my coaching career that I got to shake the Queen's hand.
Wow.
Queen Margrethe.
Wow.
Now Denmark has a king, King Frederick.
Okay.
And I've also met Frederick, but he wasn't the king then.
Oh, cool.
And so that's a neat thing. And I wanted to share that.
That's cool.
It is.
Should we, before we end this, do we want to tell the story about how you met your wife?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I love it. I love it.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, well, it was love at first sight. So
you'll find out why. Give me a second.
Now, I had never met my wife before, and I wore glasses for a lot of years. And as a sportsman, it was annoying. And then it was the contacts, and that gets old. Mm-hmm. So I looked into LASIK eye surgery. And in Denmark at the time, it was very expensive, close to $10,000. I was like, ooh, I'm a young coach, and I didn't have a lot of money. So I looked online, and I found out a cosmetic travel company. So you could fly to Turkey and get your eyes fixed for a quarter of the price.
Oh, wow.
And it was a top clinic. That's what they do. They specialize in fixing eyes top of the line clinic, and they fly people in, and that was their business. And I was a single guy, just bought a new motorcycle too. Maybe that's why I couldn't get my eyes fixed in Denmark. And took this trip, and I had a sneaking suspicion in me that I was going to meet somebody on this trip. And we flew in, and we took a bus to the hotel where we were staying, and small talk, and started talking to my wife.
Not your wife yet.
Nope. Yep. Just met her, and we played some fun games like guess what I do.
Okay. Yep.
And I thought she was a banker, maybe.
That's not terribly far off.
It wasn't. So I thought she was,
Yeah.
pretty put together. I'll say looked like a banker. She says, no, I have a card which represents what I do. And I'm like, well, maybe. I couldn't guess. I never did guess. And it turned out she was a journalist.
Oh, okay.
There's a press card and everything.
Nice.
But anyway, we got our eyes fixed. And of course, we got to know each other. And then after the trip, we kept in touch. She lived in Copenhagen. I lived in Aarhus. And she kept writing me. Because I was like, and she kept writing me, would visit, and well, that was 16 years ago.
Oh, nice.
So 16 years we've been together, and we met in Turkey, of all places, an American and a Danish person, and we met in Turkey.
That's wild.
Love at first sight.
Yep. Getting your eyes fixed. So literally love at first sight. That's so fun.
Yeah, that was a great story when she was telling me that on there. And then, of course, she also worked for Legos.
She did.
Yeah.
She did.
She has quite a story there.
14-year career at Lego, climbed up the corporate ladder, and it was a very good job for her. She enjoyed the time.
Well, maybe we'll have to bring her on here before too long, because she did just launch a business here in town, I believe. So this has been super cool. Simon, thank you very much for joining us. I really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Peter and Cheryl. It was a pleasure.
Yep. I've got one thing for you. We have Buster the Bulldog, and Buster is our mascot here at Spin Market, because we're bulldogs to getting your business, your name, your story out there digitally. And we always ask everybody, can you just give him a little rub for good luck?
Of course.
There you go. There you go, Simon. Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Yeah, everybody go to a track and field event. If you haven't been to one in a while, I always thought they were kind of fun. It's kind of like going to a baseball game. You can kind of just sit back and relax, and every now and then you're like, oh, and you start cheering a bunch. Especially if you start paying attention to the points, it gets really kind of fun. So check them out, Iowa Central Track and Field. This is fun. Thank you, Simon.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital. Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market. Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarket.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarket.com. That's digitalagent@spinmarket.com or 515-302-8026. Or visit our website at www.spinmarket.com.